So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey, how you going? This is Ho Ho Hong Kong. I am Andy Curtin. I'm here with Vivek Mahbubani.
Oh, he did it. He said it correctly.
I've been practicing all week.
Oh, wow.
Guys, if you want to find me online, check me out on Instagram at Andy Curtin. Where do
And
we
you can
find
find me at Funny Vivek with the letter M sometimes.
And if you're enjoying the podcast, please hit the subscribe button. Doesn't matter what platform you're on. And we also have a Patreon you can find on patreon.com/HoHoPod. Every Thursday, we put out a bonus episode. Lots of other videos and fun stuff out there. Big shout out to two recent patrons, Cassie and Patrick. Thanks so much for signing up.
Thank you.
All right, today's guest, Mike Rowse. The Mike Rowse.
Don't say it like that. Hey, you just see me on a wanted poster or something.
I could honestly, in introducing you, I think we could do a whole podcast. You were one of the few foreign-born civil servants in the post-handover Hong Kong government. You negotiated Hong Kong Disney on behalf of the government, earning the name Mikey Rowse.
Oh, actually, all the time I lived in England as a kid growing up. My nickname was the Mouse.
So you were born to do that deal.
I was born to do that deal, and of course my name's Mike.
Yeah.
So Mickey Mouse. I mean, and I thought, well, I've crossed the globe. I'll get a different nickname in Hong Kong.
I bet your parents didn't see that coming.
No, they didn't. And I'll get a different. I'll get there, and of course the language is different. So my Chinese surname was Lo.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike Lo is 3/4 of the Chinese name of Mickey Mouse. So at that point, I gave up. Okay, Mickey Mouse it is.
That's a setup.
Did you use that in your negotiation with Disney? You're like, look, I know what I'm talking about. This is my name. We need to make this deal work out.
No, what I used in the negotiation, my daughter was born the month the negotiations began.
Every feng shui master is going there.
And
The stars
all
could not
the
have
way
aligned more.
through this, all the way through, and there was some really tough sessions. I thought, get back in that room, find a solution. You're going to take your daughter to Hong Kong Disneyland.
Oh, I thought you were saying you don't want to be at home, dealing with a newborn baby.
I was thinking, I don't want to be the guy that screwed it up.
Yeah.
So that she's going to live with that all her life.
Wow, that would be so much pressure. Imagine taking your daughter to school. Everyone's like, we can't go to Disney. You know why? Because of her dad.
Because of her dad, the mouse.
That's right.
Oh, man.
And actually, I learned a lot about negotiations, which I didn't know before. I thought negotiations were like Turkish arm wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like this, and he's pushing you and you're pushing back. It's actually most of the time not like that.
Really?
Yeah. In this case, certainly, I suspect in more cases too. We wanted them to come. They wanted them to come. So they had to have a deal that made sense from the point of view of their shareholders. And we had to have a deal that made sense from the point of view of the community, the Legislative Council, and everyone else. And so what you actually do, you're going all the way through saying, okay, problems start because they have a problem and they have a solution, and we have a problem and we have a solution. So the first go round, you're just giving each other your solutions, and they don't match. So then you have to drill down and go one step back and say, well, what was the real problem you were trying to address by this? And you've got to show lift your skirt a bit and show what your real problem was.
Yeah.
And then you find out
That actually they just wanted to make money.
you find out the one that cracks both. No, they had things like the ferry pier.
Yeah.
They said, we want to design and build the ferry pier.
Disney did.
Interesting.
And
our port works engineers were very upset. They said, oh, we're professional engineers. We've been building piers for over 100 years in Hong Kong.
Imagine losing your job to Goofy.
Yeah. we know typhoons and ferry piers. You know, ferries hit the pier and they stand up to that. So we're the people. We can design you a safe pier. And Disney said, yes, they said. But your piers are not beautiful. and the government engineers looked at each other and say, this guy's loopy, what's he on about? Piers are not supposed to be beautiful. They're supposed to be ugly and
functional.
I'd trust a Disney engineer over a government engineer.
Then it sort of turned out, what was the solution? Okay, you design the pier. We check the design for safety and structural, and then you can make it as beautiful as you like. And we'll give you the sum of money equivalent to the cost of designing and building a government pier. And what you do, if it costs more than that, that's down to you. So you go behind the problem and find out what the real issue was on both sides, and then you can fix it.
Can you imagine negotiating like that at like ladies' market and stuff like that? You're like trying to buy a handbag. Like, what's your solution?
You're not beautiful.
Yeah, like why did you like? This is my tactic of negotiation. Just simply tell them you're my friend.
All right,
You're my friend.
let me just finish reading out the bio, though.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh. Too much.
sorry.
No, just getting fucking goofy over here. Throwing me under the bus. You set up and worked as Director General of Invest Hong Kong. You joined the Independent Commission Against Corruption in 1974. Good Lord. You were the first Commissioner for Tourism, first Director of the Financial Secretary's Office, first expatriate civil servant in Hong Kong's history to naturalise as a Chinese national. And you wrote the book No Mister and No Mister, the true story of
Minister.
Harbourfest.
Minister.
What did I
No
say?
minister and no minister.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to speed this up a little
okay.
bit. You know?
Australian.
Yeah.
Like, let it go. Australian.
That's how we pronounce it.
Yeah. No, so with that credential, that's why he didn't negotiate with the way I would. I would have just been like, Disney, give me your best price. What's your best price, my friend?
Wait, why doesn't? But hang on a second. Why doesn't Hong Kong now have like a beautiful castle pier? That's what I want to know.
We do have a beautiful pier,
But it's
but
not
the castle
like,
is inside the park.
Yeah.
It's a public pier.
Yeah.
It's outside the park, so it's a public pier.
So they made
Why would they want to redesign? Like I
Because they
understand.
said we're going to put Snow White on the pier.
Yeah,
To
right.
meet the fairies. It's got to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it could be Snow White one day and it could be one
Yeah,
of the
Beauty and
other
the Beast and
princesses
stuff,
another
yeah.
day. So it's got to be a beautiful pier.
Imagine being at Disney where you're like, all right, we're going to go to Hong Kong, pretty major city, and we're like, yeah, parts of your city aren't pretty enough.
Yeah.
Like we need to fix it up a bit if we're going to come. It must be offensive
That's
to the people
hurtful,
working
yeah.
with them, right?
It was, well, they have a Disney University. They train people out there in Penny's Bay.
I think a lot of kids have now found their new objective. Mom, you want me to go to university? Done. I know where I'm going.
I very nearly got a job working on the construction of Shanghai Disney.
Right.
But, missed out on the buzz at us. My Chinese wasn't quite there.
It's like, what, you mixed up yes and no? They're like, do you want the
There's
job?
a lot of people at the park now working there who've been there ever since it opened.
Really?
Yes.
And what year
Wow.
was that?
It opened in 05.
Well, it is kind of hard. Like, imagine Mickey Mouse going for another job. You know, he's like, oh, I could sell some donuts.
Okay, that's twice now we got that sound. How many times are we going to hear that sound on the podcast?
I've been waiting all morning. I'm like, today's the day.
I can't do the characters at all.
You are the character. Come on.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need to
exactly.
pretend. I got it already.
Oh, COVID.
Actually, we're coming up to the 20th anniversary of me becoming Chinese.
Wow. Hey,
Oh my
congratulations.
Yes, about
You're-
5-6
You
months
don't
ago.
look it.
Next year, you have your 21st as a Chinese person.
No, 1st of August this year, 20th anniversary.
How are you feeling about that?
Terrific.
Oh, that is so good. Like, dude,
That was a quick answer.
Yeah, I only have one passport.
nice.
It's a Hong Kong SAR passport.
But do you get like interesting looks when you're, let's say, at immigration? Everyone's like, "You're with us."
Are there many other people that have it? That
Yeah,
are-
quite a few now.
Yeah.
I believe I was the first. I know I was the first civil servant. But
Yeah.
I believe I was among the first in Hong Kong of any job, of any background.
Wow.
And the first time, because the best part is when you go to the mainland,
Yeah.
you're not visiting a foreign country, you're returning home
Yeah.
to your motherland.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So you queue up in the Chinese national queue.
and everybody's going, get out.
Yeah. They're trying to steer you very nicely, and you just show them your home return permit. And they,
yeah.
wow. And they sort of
Bow down,
usher
yes.
you in. Yeah.
All right, we got him.
So immigration, I'm through immigration in about 30 seconds.
Man, it
What
takes me
was the
30
main
minutes.
motivating force initially to get that?
I was traveling the world saying that Hong Kong was the best place to do business.
Yeah.
That was my job.
Yes.
And I was doing it with a British passport in my pocket. It didn't feel right. I'm there in front of the Chamber of Commerce of North Texas or something, saying this is the best product in the world, but by the way, I'm still British. And I'm thinking, if I sold Ford motor cars
Yeah.
and you looked in my driveway and you saw a Honda or a Toyota, would you believe me that Ford were the best motor
Yeah.
cars? No, you wouldn't. And I wanted to say, I'm from Hong Kong, and here's my passport, and it's the only one I've got. So listen. So they might say, well, he's mad as hell, he's battered, but at least he believes it himself.
They might say he's goofy.
Yeah.
That's what they might.
But it was great. It really counted for a lot. 'Cause you'd be introduced by some 6'6" Texan,
Yeah.
and you step up to the mic.
Yeah.
And they had you a little bit of bio, and you'd lower the microphone about a foot. And you say, "Excuse me," while I bring the microphone down to a more appropriate height for we Chinese people. You see, and then it's sort of you get a laugh, and then
Yeah.
and you just carry on like that, and they ask you the Shanghai question. It was always a question about Shanghai.
Yeah.
Well,
Was
the
you can
question-
begin. Why should we go to Hong Kong? Why don't we go straight to Shanghai? It's the business.
Back
it's
then,
business
yeah,
big
yeah.
stuff. And you say, well, of course, we Hong Kong people are very proud of Shanghai. We're the largest investor in Shanghai, just as the mainland is the largest investor in Hong Kong. And my first wife was Shanghainese. So I say, well, but my second wife is Chu Chao from the south. I said,
Yeah.
because I've made my own assessment of China's economic future. And they're all thinking,
Wow, this guy, dude, Mike, you are good.
So by the time you get to the question,
Yeah.
they're on your side.
So,
And then
what-
you deliver a serious answer and they're listening to you.
but
Wow.
but do they know what passport you have?
Hey, I tell them.
Yeah, but you could have just not brought it up, though, right?
No, it's in my bio. And they always read a
Yeah.
few sentences of your
They're like,
bio
"Who?"
before you start to speak to those audiences.
Wow. That is.
So they know I'm a Chinese
I love
national.
how you like completely involved your whole life in this whole Hong Kong investment, this and that. I'm changing my passport. You've been going, oh, sorry, honey, Shanghai's not doing so well, so I'm going to go the other way now. It's like, wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah, you should apply for B&O.
I made no inquiries on this subject, and it's my line to take
Why are you winking when you say that?
because I don't have any British passport.
He has no passport.
I had the full British passport.
Yeah.
and I gave it up.
I think if you go back, they should have like a line where they just say, "Oh, really?"
I was stopped at Heathrow
Wow.
once when using my
Chinese passport.
Hong Kong Chinese
Oh,
passport,
this is the best.
and by an Indian immigration officer.
Mike, can we travel together at all times so that I look less suspicious now?
Yeah.
Finally. I'm just like,
He said to me, he asked me all these strange questions, like, why are you here? And I was saying, well, actually, I'm going to see my stepmother because she's very old, 100 odd years old at the time. And, where's that Cornwall? So how long are you here? Oh, about a week. Okay, so I'll let you in for 2 or 3 days. I said, well, no, I've got to drive down to Cornwall and then come back. I
Negotiating.
need a
This
week.
is at the visa office.
This is at the immigration.
everywhere you go,
at
people
Heathrow.
negotiate.
They determine how many days you get when you arrive.
If you're Chinese, you see, they do.
Ah.
So there I am, and eventually I said, look, what you really want to know is why I changed my nationality, isn't it? Yeah. So he called over his mates, and they were all from the subcontinent.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
He said, well, why did you change your nationality? I said, well, I wanted to be part of a country with a future.
Oh.
I would be placating
Yeah.
them.
They're like, we're giving you 1 day.
But he'd done the same. They'd all migrated from India
Yeah.
to the UK,
Yeah.
thinking that gave them a better future. But I'd started off in the UK. I was looking for a better
So
future.
you were
back
doing
in
level
India.
3 to level 2. Then Mike was like, I was level 2, I'm going to level 1. Oh, I
Yeah.
get your strategy. Oh, okay. But then, so the biggest question is, how long did you get to stay there? A week?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I can't be stopped because I was born in the UK.
Ooh.
So
Look at this guy with the trump card. Like, I see you,
So
I
you're just
raise you.
messing with them.
Yeah.
I was just, they were messing with me. I was messing back.
Casually insulting them. You're
This
like,
guy-
by the
no.
way,
Going down there being like all Donald Duck on them. They're trying to make them confused.
you're sitting there the whole time. By the end of this podcast, you'll be like, Pluto? Can I get Pluto into this?
Yeah, I'll be
Exactly.
sent to Pluto.
What
after
you
the
just
end of
did,
this.
yeah, what you just said was out of this world, kind of like Pluto. All right, go on.
So what year did you come? 1960?
Very long time ago. You won't have any listeners who were alive when I arrived in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I got here in 1972.
Oh, we got people that old.
Well,
December 72. I've been here 48 years now.
It's a little
Man.
while. It's a little while. Longer
Hey,
than you.
wait, I'm 38 only, man.
Exactly. See?
Yeah. Back when Mike was already investing in Hong Kong, I was still like, protein. I was still not developed yet.
And you mentioned the ICAC. That was interesting because I was actually in the first wave of recruits to the ICAC.
What was it like? I mean,
It was
back
amazing. I was on induction course 1A. There isn't one before that.
then? That's so Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Even the classes have to have the letter A to be like, you're A grade. You're the best.
Could you pay money to get past that exam?
It was interesting. The only thing I had going for me in the interview was I wasn't crooked. I had no qualifications.
That's what
Zero.
they
I
want.
had no relevant experience, nothing.
But I hear a lot from that era that corruption was a huge problem.
Rampant. Absolutely rampant. In the 60s and the early 70s, it was massive. I think an objective person would say that 90%, the police force was the worst. And the worst unit in the police force was the old anti-corruption office. They were more corrupt than the other policemen because they could squeeze the policemen who were in the front line. I mean,
man.
roughly 90% of the police force was...
And what kind of corruption are we talking about?
syndicated. Every drug divan, every brothel, every underground casino paid every month. Every transport operator paid. Every taxi, every unlawful taxi, every minibus, every goods vehicle, they paid, and they got a special decal to put in the windscreen to show you'd paid for this month.
Wow. So
it was everything.
it was blatant.
syndicated.
It was blatantly obvious. Like people knew.
Yes, everyone knew. In fact, we had photographs of police vehicles going into the market and the hawker queuing up to pay the bribes through the window. And we actually, when I was still a reporter on the Star, before the ICAC was set up, we went to Central, and the minibuses, they were all red top in those days. There were no green ones. The red tops queued up, and before they left, they paid the traffic sergeant at the front of the queue $5 through the window. So everyone on the minibus knew. Everyone queuing up for the minibus knew. And it wasn't a secret.
I'm just so blown away.
So the Royal Hong Kong Police at that time, was it predominantly expat or?
No. It was about 90% Chinese. There were some from India and
Sikhs, yeah.
Yeah, Sikhs, and so on, and then a smattering of expats.
Okay, and then what was it like being on that commission? I mean, you must have felt overwhelmed.
Did you
There was a very funny experience the first few years because there were 20,000 policemen, all armed, and there were about 200 ICAC officers, and we weren't armed. And yet within 3 months, 6 months at the outside, the 20,000 were frightened of the 200 because for the first time they had experience of people that they couldn't pay off. And they didn't know how to cope.
Oh.
Every time before, when they'd had a problem, they knew who to go to fix it.
I like that they're not really thugs. There was just nothing stopping them. There's just not right.
Yeah.
Because if you mess with the revenue stream of an actual gangster like a triad, they're going to come knocking a little harder than.
And it was just.
Were the triads tied up in it?
We weren't that great investigators, but you didn't have to be. I mean, I went into a building in Kowloon, 12 stories high, 2 flats per floor, so that's 24 apartments. The whole block was owned by a police sergeant. And each flat in the block was worth more than his entire lifetime salary. Wow. No, so I say, you didn't have to be very clever
to find it.
How did you get these guys?
evidence.
What? You walked up to them, they were like, give me the money. You're like, no. They're like, oh, okay. That's it?
Actually, what happened was a tribute to Hong Kong people because it changed almost overnight. From one minute you paid for everything. You paid for a driving license. Yeah, there was a fee, but then there was also an informal fee.
Yeah.
You're in hospital and you wanted a drink of water, you paid for a drink of water. And then suddenly, you didn't pay. And people were, whoa, this is great. This is terrific. And within a few years, if you'd gone into a government office and someone asked for a bribe, you'd be amazed. People were taking out the mobile phone. Okay, would you like to say that again? Let me get the recording going. And it just changed very, very rapidly.
Wow.
So was that around the time of the Star Ferry riots?
No, the Star Ferry
60s,
situation
right?
was in the 60s.
Yeah, when they raised the...
We're in the mid
just gonna
70s.
stop-
Now, the Star Ferry situation was back in the mid 60s.
So this was well after
This
that.
is well after that.
Okay, because I know that corruption was one of the sort of boiling.
It was one. But of
aspects
course,
to that.
We went like this for 3 years, from 74 to 77, and then the police mutinied one afternoon. They just didn't answer their phones, wouldn't answer 999 calls or anything.
Wow.
And then they got an amnesty. And I think what the governor said was, okay, everything up to now, unless it's a heinous crime, and the word heinous is actually in the law, is forgotten. We'll put that on one side.
Okay.
But from now on, we're going to throw the book at you. And 90 odd percent of the police force turned over a new leaf. And I think the government, for once, got it right. Because if you gave the amnesty too soon, like in the Philippines or Thailand or something they do from time to time, people don't believe you. You've got no credibility. So a few years later, they say, well, give us an amnesty. Give us another amnesty. But by not giving an amnesty at the beginning and just plucking people, you couldn't miss. It was like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
By that, locking up people. And some people, got away with it. And some people who were sort of half corrupt had a ton of bricks land on them. So it was a very rough justice in some ways. But at the end of that time, the whole situation changed.
Did you feel in danger at all?
No, I think we felt it was great camaraderie. We felt that we were doing a really good job for Hong Kong. So we felt terrific.
What was it like having a competent government? That must be
It
interesting.
was very unusual, and we haven't experienced it
in
since.
a long time. I remember being born, I'm like, nope, not competent already. Let's keep going, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who is on the radio from time to time and writes for the papers as well. And he said, you realise, he said, under Carrie Lam's government, it's the end of irony because you say something couldn't possibly be, and the next day, there it is. It's been done. Yeah, it's been
She
announced.
takes that as advice. She's like, I think that's what he says I should do.
No, she takes it as a personal challenge.
Yeah, I see you.
This
I
could
raise
never
you.
happen. Oh, really?
wait.
right.
No,
Oh,
come
man.
on, guys. Let's not be silly. She's not making any decisions. Let's.
True, yeah.
So we had a lot of fun. It's as simple as that.
And did the city? Was there a big change in the city after that? Do you think?
Yes, there was. I think people. It didn't take a lot for most people to say, "That's it. We don't need to pay." It's our government, and it meant a number of things. They had to raise police force salaries. They had to train the detectives, because prior to that time, a police officer, detective, there might be a 5,000 Hong Kong dollar reward for a serious case. Remember, we're talking 40 years ago. 50
Yeah,
years
that's
ago.
a big sum.
But the police officer, the police detective, would put up 50,000 from his own pocket, so that there'd be a 5,000 official reward
Yeah, and
and
50,000
a 50,000 unofficial reward, and someone would always be found.
Yeah.
So you had people with a detection rate of 100% or high 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was always they would always get someone for 55,000.
Yeah.
Even for murder, and you couldn't report a lost bike or a stolen bike. If you walked into a police station and said, "Someone's stolen my bike," the sergeant on the desk would just give you $100 from the till to go and buy a new one.
Because there's no money in it for
There's
them.
no money in it, and there's no way they're going to find the bike. So it's just going to go in the records as an unsolved crime,
Yeah.
which will make all the statistics look bad. So you say, well, I can report this if you want, but here's $100 for a new bike. Thank you very much, officer. And then you'd be gone. There'd be no crime.
I want to try that now.
Yeah, right. I was just like, oh my God, I want to make a call right now after this. I'm like,
No. You see, now they've trained the detectives, so there's a chance someone will get caught having stolen your bike. So they will record the crime.
And the problem is that even if I go in and say I reported I lost my bike, they give me $100. I'm like, I can't buy a bike with $100, people. It's
Back then, you
inflation.
probably buy a bike store.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy a stolen one.
Yeah. Could buy your old bike back.
Yeah, that looks familiar. Yeah, it's $100. Okay, doc, police.
So let's move back onto Disney now. Like
Yes.
that, you people must hold you in high revere for that one.
Well, I don't know, because it was very popular, very successful. Less so now. I mean, it's
Less successful now.
Well, I think the problem of the park's been closed for most
Yeah.
of the last 18 months.
Yeah.
I went right before the last shutdown,
I
and
love
it was
it.
the dream. No
going there.
queues.
I love going. I try and when it's open, I try and go every month. I don't always
every
succeed.
month.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay?
Yeah,
I buy an annual pass.
Oh, they make you buy an
come
annual pass.
on.
Come on, man, Disney.
You don't come from the ICAC and then accept a free pass to Disneyland. Come on.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, I bet you what's happening. I bet you what's happening. No free pass for me, but here's $50,000.
Yeah. But here's a bike I stole.
So I buy a platinum pass every year.
Look at this guy. I'm like,
What's the well? Okay, for listeners, what's the best thing to see
Yeah.
at Disney? What's the
Best
secret thing?
I think the runaway, the mine cars. The runaway mine cars.
oh, okay, the runaway.
Is it the
Grizzly
bear,
Gulch.
the bear
Grizzly
one or
Gulch.
whatever?
The one with the bears, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you don't even know the name. You've been going every month
it's
for 20 years.
worth waiting a bit longer and going in the front seat.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a special. You get to the front of the queue and you say, "I'd like to be in front, please," and they pass you off into a special queue.
You know, this is like such a photo moment. Like you've got Mike Rowse in front and on the roller coaster and everything on the ride, and it's just like this is the guy that made this all happen. People, he's in the front
And he steps on and looks at the guy and says, "You know, you have your job because of me." And the guy's like, "I hate
I
myself."
never say that, but you'd be surprised how many of the old timers recognize me and say,
Man,
you know, so and so, yeah. Thanks, Mr. Rouse. You know,
oh man,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I would not be able to resist that temptation. Every time I go down there, I'll be like, "Who's this new person you've hired?" "Oh, thank me."
Dude, you and I would be there every week.
Every week.
Kick everyone off the ride. We're
Yeah.
doing one by ourselves.
This guy jumped the queue. You know there would be no queue if there was not me. Okay.
Queue? You mean my queue? The queue that I made?
Oh, man.
I enjoy actually seeing the people. I can just walk down Main Street and feel happy.
It's a
Yeah.
good vibe.
I don't have to go on any ride. I can just go there.
Yeah.
I don't shop that much unless I have a specific thing I want to buy. Then I go in and buy it and leave again. I'm a real male shopper.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not like the women.
Not like
they get
Vivek.
the pleasure. For
Yeah, not like me.
3 or 4 hours of looking at every damn thing in the shop.
Yeah.
No. I don't do that. But I just like walking around. And the shows.
Man, that is so impressive.
I went there. I got two very little kids, and I went there with my wife and some other families. And there was no lines, so we just walked straight onto It's a Small World. And we're sitting on there, and my wife missed us, gets on the one behind us, and we're sitting there. We're waiting for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the other mum looks at me. She's like, "Your wife's done something." And then we hear on the loudspeaker like, "Please, ma'am, please do not step into the water." She's dropped her phone in the water and just gone straight in to get it. I'm like, "You're gonna die." That's you don't know what's down
Nobody
there.
dies in Disney, you handy.
No, well, they're probably it's like a casino, you know. They
Yeah.
got the side door for
Yeah, exactly.
dragging out the
Push it up.
bodies.
Yeah, exactly. So you've done the whole Disney experience, right? You've done every ride.
I've been to every park except Shanghai.
Look
I've
at
been
you.
to all 4 in
I
Florida.
lived in Shanghai for years. I never went.
There's 2 in California, 2 in Paris, 2 in Tokyo.
I've done Paris.
4 in Florida.
Yeah.
I've been to all of them. I haven't been to the one in Shanghai, not because I've got anything against Shanghai.
Yeah,
My
you-
daughter's been there. She's been to the one in Shanghai, and one day I will go. Especially, I'm trying. I give it a bit of time while the mainlanders learned how to queue. And
I think you're going to be waiting a while, Mike. I think,
Oh man.
wow, you really earned that Hong Kong
I
passport,
really
didn't you?
am that Hong Kong passport. Yeah.
He said the joke after he gets a passport. You see how I don't say it yet?
So I think the Shanghai one, certainly when I was looking at going there, that was planned to be the biggest one in the world.
It's huge. It's huge, but it's not a conventional Disney. In some, there's some aspects that are different.
No Winnie the Pooh.
I don't know what they've done with Winnie now. I have something to look out for.
He
No,
got
I
dragged out
think
that
it's
side door.
He got poo-pooed.
The management has got to have the Communist Party members and a committee.
Shocker.
So, you know, I expect they tiptoe around some things.
I don't know.
And Main Street, we have the conventional Main Street. One of the interesting things was the market research that Disney did while they were designing the park, and they said, you know, would people like a Chinese princess, things like that. And the answer was no. We want the blonde one. What do you mean? We're paying full whack for a Disneyland.
the Disney.
Send those blondes. You know.
You know, it was. I remember because living there, a lot of people would work for Disney English. And what I'd heard was they had this plan to build the Shanghai Disney, but their concern was that Chinese people didn't grow up on Disney. So they were using the English schools to get like as many people as they can hooked from a young age. And the thing is that ended up being the most profitable English school in all of China.
Yeah.
So they made so much money setting up their business to make so much money. It's just crazy.
There were issues here as well. There was an assumption, the early marketing plans were poor. Disney assumed that the kids had grown up with Disney, with the stories and the characters, and what their publicity was sort of concentrated. This is how you get to the park. You know, you take this bus, you take this train, etc., etc., etc. And then, of course, there were problems, and they realised the first thing they had to do was sell the stories.
Yeah.
But it broke the mould of Hong Kong tourism in many ways, because previously, the practice, and of course I learned all this as Commissioner for Tourism, previously the coach loads would come in from the mainland into Ocean Park, 2 hours. You watch the dolphins and out again and off to the jewellery shop or the handbag shop or whatever, somewhere else in Hong Kong, because that's where the tourist guides got commission. Whereas in Disney, you went in the morning and you stayed there all day.
Probably stayed at a hotel as well, maybe.
Very often at the hotel, if you could. Yep. The hotels are beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
The first time I stayed at the Hong Kong Disneyland Hotel, I walked in this beautiful suite with a fabulous ocean view, and there's a girl on her knees cleaning the toilet. And she turned and said, "Have a magical day."
And that girl was Cinderella.
Exactly.
Well, I will.
Yeah, what about you? I mean, I feel bad.
Yours is not so hot at the minute. Right?
You know, my son's name is Mike, and I think I'd rather take you to Disney next time. You were way more excited than he was about it.
So the hotel is fantastic, and the park. But I just feel good walking around the park.
Wow, it is a fantastic world,
See,
right?
And there's lots of, I shouldn't say this, maybe none of my wives will hear this, but there's lots of attractive young ladies come from South China.
Well, no, it's a good observation. That is, in fact, very true.
I didn't notice that. No, it's glad you
didn't
pointed. I'll
notice
look
that.
for that next time. You know, see if I can detect it.
No, I was just stuck at the pier. I'm like, this pier is beautiful. I didn't want to go into the
Very.
Just imagine Vivek's making out with the pier.
where are you,
It's
Cinderella?
so beautiful.
Oh, my God. And it's safe. It's safe. Yeah.
Yes, but you can't moor there. You can unload passengers, but you've got to go away again, because there's a no mooring zone off the coast of Hong Kong Disneyland. Just as there's a no fly zone over the top.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Wait, can people? I didn't realize there's a ferry at the actual Disneyland.
Yeah, there's a pier.
People
There's a
boat.
pier. Yeah, there's a
People
pier.
boat in.
But they're in their own boat.
Oh my god.
Like, you know you're exclusive.
Yeah.
When you have to go to Disney by your own boat.
But
Oh.
they were on the point of having a ferry service before the COVID.
Oh.
Oh wow. From where?
From Central.
Ah.
Bank Pier. But I actually
That's
like...
actually a pretty good idea. It is
Yeah.
not that easy to get to.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're kidding.
Versus if you could ferry there, it would be way easier. Like a land
But
tower ferry.
the train has got all little Disney statues in every
but you gotta
carriage.
go on it for ages.
And the windows are shaped like Mickey's
Yeah,
ears.
exactly.
I mean, what you got?
Mike,
you
you
can't
know,
buy this.
I know you're sold on the branding, but I have two little kids, and that MTR is like 10, 14 stops or something.
Oh, you're on the Tung Chung line now.
Yeah.
We're not responsible for the Tung Chung
Yeah,
line.
you're responsible.
Only the last little bit.
Ah, well,
Sunny Bay to
Sunny
Disney, that's
Bay.
it.
Come on,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
You're on the Corruption Commission, the Tourism Commission, the Financial Secretary's Office. You built the park. You couldn't fix the MTR out there, Mike. Come on. Tung Chung Line should have been a high priority.
We had lots of fun. Lots of fun. And look at the attention paid to the landscaping as well. Actually, when you...
It is beautiful out there.
The roads out there are public roads.
Yeah, but they've made it there, like, landscaping, right?
And the standard of landscape. But that was another funny part of the negotiations. Disney said, we want to talk about landscaping one day. So, because what happened, there was a core negotiating team.
Sounds
for
like
Hong
my
Kong.
wife.
You know, we had a core negotiating team.
That's
The two of
manscaping.
us, we attended every meeting on every subject. And then, according to the specialism, we would bring in another civil servant to handle the subject. So landscaping. So we found someone who knew a bit about parks. Okay.
Yeah.
And she joined the meeting the next day.
Was that your daughter? She's like, okay, I like parks with rides.
Disney said, okay, you're all here. We'd like to bring in the leader of the tree team.
Man.
And
they got people.
they
yeah.
got people. This guy came in. Remember, this is not the tree team. This is the leader of the tree team.
Globally or something, right?
And we talked for 4 hours about species of tree, how high the trees were to grow, how big the canopy was, the root system of the trees, if a tree blew down in a typhoon, how quickly it had to be replaced, how the trees were to be watered, the composition of the soil in which the trees grew. We went on and on, right the way through from 9 o'clock till lunchtime. We were absolutely exhausted. And this poor girl from the parks department just didn't know what hit her. So
He's like, I just like walking on grass.
Yeah.
Bring in the tree man.
no, it turned out they'd been buying seedlings in the mainland already for the trees.
Yeah.
But we thought, well, thank goodness that's over. We have lunch. Oh, no, they said, after lunch, we'd like to discuss bushes. And sure enough, after lunch, there was the leader of the bush team.
Oh, my God.
And it was the same thing all over
Plenty
again.
of those in southern China.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So the reason I bring this up is
Yeah.
because their attention to detail
Yeah.
is excruciating.
I'm not joking, man. Those engineers must be top world-class engineers.
They
for
really
sure.
are. And they call themselves
Imagineers.
Imagineers, yeah.
Yeah, that term is unique for Disney. Imagination engineers. Yeah, I love that term, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to call myself an Imagineer comedian. I imagine my comedy jokes work.
I imagine you being funny.
Yeah, I've got a great imagination. I can imagine him being funny.
I'm impressed. I'm
I
impressed.
could
That's
be
the kind
kind.
of imagination that builds Disneyland in Hong Kong.
I wish all my audience had the same imagination when I'm on stage.
I saw you one time at the football club.
Yeah, I did a show.
You did a show.
Ah, so you saw the show there?
Yeah, it was a few years ago now.
Oh yeah, it was a long time.
Everybody knows Big V.
Yeah, everyone knows. Some corner has me saying something silly.
I like
My
I like the fact
wife's
he can-
boss yesterday said to her, have you ever met a guy named Vivek? It's like, funnily
I like
enough.
that he can make jokes in both languages.
Yeah. Do you how's your Canto?
Terrible. I got.
Are you being modest? Or is it
I
bad?
always say I have enough Cantonese for a beer, a taxi, and a woman, which is all any man needs, really.
And a passport.
Yeah.
That'll be good enough.
Not very good for political correctness, but
Yeah.
great for truth telling.
Yeah.
Probably better for political correctness in this city because you're not supposed to talk about anything.
Yeah, you can't say nothing anymore, man.
So, what about? Let's talk about Invest HK because there was a
Yes.
huge debacle that you were embroiled in.
It was not a debacle. It was a terrific event.
Can you shed some light on this for us? The Harbour Fest,
Yes, the economy completely disappeared of Hong Kong.
following SARS, right?
In the second quarter of 2003. You could walk into any restaurant at 1 p.m. and demand, without a reservation, and get a table by the window.
Wait, you're talking about now or back then?
Back
'Cause
then.
It's quite similar.
There was nobody was going out. Nobody was riding in taxis. Nobody was doing anything.
Pretty similar to now, right?
It was worse. It
Really?
was worse. Yep. And people said, well, hell, we got to do something to bring the economy back. So we had this committee was set up of the great and the good, actually 7 people, 5 ministers and 2 civil servants. And I was the most junior member of the committee. And they said, well, let's invite lots of ideas, how to revive the economy. So one of the best ideas, actually most of the money, we had $1 billion. We only spent 700 million of it, which is either
Hit
hit
$1 billion.
rounding error, actually. But the point was the biggest money went on tourism promotion. About 400 million was spent on bringing back tourism, special campaigns globally. But the biggest proposal from the private sector was from the American Chamber of Commerce. And they said, we'll put together this series of concerts and we want a subsidy of $100 million. And the great and the good looked at it and said, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. First of all, it'll make a splash in media internationally if you get a few top stars in. And also people will actually fly in for some of the acts. So, yeah, okay, we'll do that. So we did it. And
Who'd they get in?
Sorry,
Do you remember which acts they got in? What artists?
certainly. Yes, we had the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, man.
I
In Hong
went
Kong.
twice to the Rolling Stones. We also had Neil Young. We had Westlife.
I got that for $100 million. That's crazy.
We had all of this.
With Mike negotiating?
Yeah.
For $20.
Well, the thing was,
Yoo-hoo!
what, and this was the whole point. That it wasn't. The idea was not to make money. The idea was to spend money to save the economy.
I could do that.
And
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
by bringing people in or by raising Hong Kong's profile in a positive way. That whereas everyone had seen, the death numbers and that, suddenly you're going to see the Rolling Stones and these top stars in
Some
Hong
people
Kong.
who look like they're dead.
But we had imagine how they looked. Wow.
And they still
all
survived
those years
in Hong
ago.
Kong.
They were pretty old then still.
Yeah.
But we had Liverpool play a football match in the government stadium. We had Real Madrid with David Beckham. We put on a whole load of things, but it was the pop concerts that got most of the publicity, and they were they were very good. We had Jose Carreras, the biggest audience he'd had for 10 years, singing opera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was terrific. And he really had a good time, too. These stars, they sort of treat themselves as semi-gods.
Yeah.
He actually, after his act finished, he
Went to
talked to
Disneyland.
the audience and then sang some more songs. He was having such a good time.
Yeah.
And they just don't talk to the audience. And he did, and it was awesome. It really was. The publicity, it got negative publicity locally, not internationally, locally, partly because the economy recovered so quickly. It was so effective, other things that we'd done, that by sort of July, shortly after the money had been approved and the contract signed, people were going back to restaurants, going back, getting into taxis as life resumed. And the full year economic, if you look at the numbers, the full year of 2003, the economy grew by more than the budget forecast. Because even though the second quarter was a wipeout, the third and fourth quarters of the year were so strong, so robust. And then, so by the time we get to October, November, when the concerts were taking place, people say, well, why are we spending all this money? Look, everything's booming. And I was saying to people, sorry, you gave me these instructions. I've signed the contract. The 100 million is gone. It's no good coming to me now and saying we want the money back.
Wow.
The money's gone. And then they said, so they will sit around and say, well, who are we going to blame for this? And of course they look at the committee, and the 5 ministers decided that they had no responsibility for it, even though they'd approved it, and the 2 civil servants, and I was the most junior one. So
Boom.
Buggins got the blame for the bad publicity. But actually, as an event, it was very successful.
Wow.
And so you, I think, were the first person to ever sue the Hong Kong government, right?
Well, no, people sue the Hong Kong government all the time, but I actually went for a judicial review against the chief executive, the chief secretary, and the secretary for the civil service.
Mike, can you do that again now?
Of course you can. I won. And the judge who ruled in my favour and awarded me costs, 3 months later, he was promoted to the Court of Appeal.
I need you to sue
And
something.
he's now an alternate member of the Court of Final Appeal.
Do they still have expats in the
Yes.
judiciary?
Yes.
I'm a little out of the loop on that.
Yeah.
You know about that?
They do. Not
I
only
don't-
that, they have...
I know there's still 100 cops, expat cops, still
There's
on
a
the force.
panel of international judges, including a top judge from Canada, one from the UK, and so on. And they draw by lot, and they assign them, and they sit in judgment on some of the cases in the Court of Final Appeal.
Wow.
If you had a look at the one on the bail hearing for recently,
For Jimmy Lai?
for Jimmy Lai, Frank Stock was one of the 5 judges dealing with it. I'm not sure what he counts as now, Frank, because he's been here as long as I...
Yeah. But I think there were 3 essentials and 2 non-essentials. Is that how they categorize them?
That's roughly, yes.
And Frank was one of the quote-unquote non-essential.
Yeah, I don't think they call them
Yeah,
non-essential.
but I mean, like the fei.
There's core and sort of
Yeah.
on the
Because
fringes.
I was translating the Cantonese was like fei, like non something. I forget
Yeah.
what the name. But yeah.
Actually, funnily enough, by chance, Frank's son was the junior counsel for me when I sued the chief executive. But I had
man.
my QC was from the UK.
Oh.
So looking back now, how are you feeling about the Hong Kong government now? Because I know you feel that Hong Kong government and people have kind of failed a little bit and brought some of the problems they have now on themselves. But then
I write a column every fortnight in the South China Morning Post. I have done for 10 years. And I have a weekly radio show on RTHK every Monday morning.
nice plug.
And I'm disappointed with the government's over the years. I think it's not that Beijing is messing us up; we're screwing ourselves up. Take for example the national security legislation. Now there was a draft in 2003, which was absolutely dreadful. That was produced by the government. Then
Tung
there was
Chee-hua, right? Yeah.
under
Tung-
Tung,
yeah, Tung
C.H.
Chee-hua, yeah.
Tung. Then there was a committee that was looking at it, which actually agreed a lot of changes to the draft legislation, but it never got to the end of the road. And the government just sort of dug its heels in, and then you're followed by this huge march.
Yeah, 500,000 people.
Half
man.
a million people.
That's
in 2008.
crazy.
And then the whole thing got dropped. But after that, it was treated like the third rail. Now, in the basic law, we have a constitutional duty to enact national security legislation. And we still haven't done it. And we still have to do it. People think the one imposed on us by the National People's Congress is the end of the road. No, it isn't. We still have a responsibility to enact our own legislation. And we haven't done it. Why haven't we done it? Why haven't we done it? All right, you pause for 2 or 3 years for people to calm down. Then you reconvene that committee that was looking at it, together with the Bar Association and other people, and you make sure that the legislation has got the proper safeguards in it and is procedurally sound, and then you bring it forward. But the Pan-Dems have made it clear they weren't going to vote in favour of anything. The government made it clear they were too scared to even propose anything. So for 20 years, we just lived in limbo. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. And it's the same with other things. Back in the last serious attempt at political reform, there was a deal there to be done. Now, the chief executive bit was very restrictive, very, very conservative. But you could have sweetened the pot a bit by looking at the election committee. What about the membership of the election committee? What about qualifications for LegCo? You could have given a bit in other areas that made that as a first step, but you would have continued to the impression of progress. No, government dug its heels in. This is it. You take it or leave it. It's very conservative. That's all you're going to get. And we're not going to look at anything else. The consultation paper that the government put out dealt with chief executive and the legislative council. So people commented on both extensively. I did in my columns. But then when it got to this is the conclusions of the consultation exercise, every reference of the legislative council was left out. The words legislative council do not appear in the government summary of this is what you told us in the consultation exercise. This is crap.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. And that's why the only thing on the table was the very limited proposal for the chief executive. By itself, it was not good enough, but the pot could have been sweetened with some changes elsewhere, obvious ones. We're probably the only place in the world that still has corporate voting. I mean, this is from the 19th century. Have a look at Canada, guys. This is the 21st century. What are we doing with corporate voting? Why does the banking representative get chosen by 55 banks? Why not 50,000 people working in banking?
Yeah.
Do you think, looking at the system now, just on that point of like them needing to enact an NSL law, do you think the system now, in the way it's being practically executed and just arresting people who have been associated, media, people who've been associated with the what do you call them, primaries, do you think there's any credibility left in the enactment of the law that relates to it?
Yes. This is where things go off track. For politicians and members of a political party, which I won't name, signed a letter to Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and their deputies in the House of Representatives and the Senate saying, please punish China. Please attack China to help Hong Kong. These are 4 Hong Kong politicians. What on earth were they thinking? What on earth were they thinking? Can you imagine doing that anywhere else in the world? Please punish our country. Please kick us in the crotch. That would be really good, won't it? No. And the ones you're talking about, taking part in the primary sounds very innocent. And normally I would agree with that. But these were not ordinary. This was a blueprint by Benny Tai. Dear Benny, this is why academics should never be allowed to run the world. Benny had a 10-point plan. And the idea was we get 35 plus 1 members of LegCo, which is 70 members, so 35 plus 1 is a majority. And we will veto every bill. We will say no to every spending proposal. We won't look at any of them on their merits. It could be for a new hospital or a new school. It could be for things that people want. It could be a good law. It could be a regulation extending maternity leave. It doesn't matter. We're going to say no to everything so that the government is brought to a halt and Beijing will be forced to negotiate with us. What on earth were they smoking? Really? So the primaries were actually in themselves innocent, but they were to choose the best candidates to achieve this complete obstruction of the government. And, no, if you have a piece of legislation, you have to look at it on its merits. And if it's good, you pass it. If you think it could be better, you suggest improvements to it. You don't just say, right, we're going to win power so that we can stop everything. We can stop the government governing.
Yeah, but maybe they were doing that in response to the fact that they'd have several instances where a huge number of people in Hong Kong had been completely ignored.
Yes.
So they were doing the same thing.
Oh, really? So
In 1 minute or less, Mike.
I really don't know how to answer that. So we're going to play silly buggers, and we're going to play even sillier buggery than you. No. Life doesn't work like that.
I think it's time to go to Disneyland.
Mike, thanks so much for coming on today. I want to go back to Disneyland on the back of this.
I think I need to.
I gotta go. They've got to open the park again. I can't. I even wear a mask. I hate wearing a mask, but I will put my mask back on if they reopen the park.
I'll buy you a Disney Mickey Mouse mask.
Thank you.
I've got some.
Do you really?
I've got a little folder to keep my mask in as well. It's from Toy Story.
Oh, man.
Mike, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it. It's been great to hear you.
Been a lot of fun.
Cheers.